Thanks very much for staying awake for me. You can go to sleep after this. No, just joking. Just firstly, before I get started, yes, we've been around on the coast for a while, and we've absolutely loved working here on the Gold Coast. Have moved away for some of that time and worked overseas. Some housekeeping as well. These slides will be available for download afterwards from the Ad Hoc website, I believe, and also we're recording as well. So feel free just to sit up and listen. Don't put any pressure on yourself to take too many notes. Some of them do get pretty technical, and if you wanted to share that with your digital marketing teams, then of course having those slides and recording later will help you do that. So let's dive in. Yes, this works, great. So firstly, social media marketing tactics starts with content marketing and using a pull versus push approach to marketing. That basically means that we're selling the idea of a product versus selling or pushing the product down people's throats via, traditional advertising. All of our content marketing should therefore be housed in a base, that being either our core website or an additional website that we're using for a campaign. And all of that content therefore then gets shared out through all of your advertising and marketing channels. All of us have a business plan and a marketing plan, and many of the marketing plans, I would say, detail demographics and who our ideal target audience is based on demographics. However, psychographics has basically killed demographics, and some of you might remember that song. We've created a blog about that. You can go and read more, but hopefully this presentation explains what psychographics is as well and the importance of psychographics. So psychographics targets personalities, values, attitudes, interests, and lifestyle. And we should get to know our ideal client via creating persona profiles. We should create up to probably 4, start with 1 to begin with, and we should know our client intimately. Write a background story on them, get a photograph maybe of a friend that might actually look like your ideal client. Talk about their key attributes and also their barriers to doing business with you, for example. Once we've done that, then our content that we create will actually resonate with our key persona core values. Obviously then we just need to get it out to them. And what's important is that we use devices that our target clients are habitually using, like smartphones, of course. So Australian smartphone penetration reached 75% this year, and tablets reaching 46%. So when are they using them? They're using them while they're watching TV, and some aren't. So we also have multi-screeners. Many of you would have your mobiles here today, and some of you may even be distracted right now, obviously using your smartphones. So we're using them all of the time. It's our first point of call. More people in the world own a mobile device than a toothbrush. So our target audience is definitely, it's pretty disgusting, right? So, yeah, is there an app to clean your teeth? Beautiful. So, of course, smartphones are, we always have them on us. I forgot my wallet yesterday. I didn't care as long as I had my phone. So, once we've created that content, we need to socially share it, as mentioned. But which social channel is right for you? Well, it's not about what's right for you. It's about what's right for your ideal client, right? So let's look at some stats. Australia is, top of the pile with monthly active users of around 14 million. Then you have YouTube and Instagram and so on and so forth. Obviously, pictures would be great for your clients being tourism-based, and yes, maybe we would turn to Pinterest. But with only 320,000, MeMedia, for example, wouldn't target all of our activity there. So potentially, you need to skew your business, your targeting to your persona's needs to your ideal business goals. So let's just go back to understanding when we're sharing out our content, how we need to do that effectively socially. And we need to look at a brief history of Facebook. So Facebook went global in 2006 to anybody with an email address. Business pages became popular in 2007, and that's when we had 100% organic reach. Anything that you posted on your business page wall, would reach 100% of the audience that liked your page. Then ads were announced in 2009, and organic reach started to fall. We had the IPO in 2012, and then April declared that organic reach is only around 16%. So mobile ads came out in 2012, a bit later that year. They sort of missed the boat on the IPO. And brand pages began to suffer even further, 44% decline in reach by December 2013. So organic reach by February 2014 tumbled to 6%. Can it get any lower? Well, yeah, this graph's just heading in the wrong direction for business pages. And why would we be, interested in using Facebook if they're going to keep doing this to us, for example? So then organic reach hits 2.6% in April 2015. So needless to say, anything that you post on your business page wall on Facebook paying for advertising is basically reaching very few. Yeah, it's wasted effort. So marketers essentially, they just stuck their head in the pillow and screamed, profusely at Facebook and almost gave up on social altogether. They just thought, well, what's the point? I'm not getting anywhere with this. And if it's just going to cost me money, well, stuff you. But hang on, we had it really good for a long time. Some people created some amazing audiences while it was pretty much free to reach 100%. So it's important to understand that, we do need to pay to boost our content and the reach of our content. And why wouldn't we use these social media channels to do that? Because their data is just so valuable. It's amazing. And it's like, once you understand how much data they have out there for you, you're like, take my money, take it. It's amazing. So, of course, Facebook weren't the only ones to launch advertising, and Twitter did the same, 2013 and 2014 in Australia. That's just a little bit of history on them. They've just reached 200 countries worldwide as of the beginning of this month for Twitter as well. Sorry, doing two things at once. Instagram's ads were announced in 2015, and although they're only available to some people, it's quite difficult to actually get for all of us here to go out right now and potentially start advertising on Instagram. LinkedIn also has an ad service, and that was available in July 2013. So if you're looking at this going, oh my God, I didn't know ads existed on these networks, I think this may be a good wake-up call. Essentially, YouTube also has ads available, and much of the media that's produced, especially for TV ads, is also being replicated on YouTube, for example. So if we just did a bit of a quick summary on what the entry level is, and Google Plus is obviously a social network, but advertising is only available if you have 1,000 plus followers. So there's not too many people that actually have 1,000 plus followers. One of those reasons being is because most people just haven't invested any time or effort into Google Plus. Excuse me. Facebook, yes, you can start from $6. LinkedIn, $6 per click, and that's US. Twitter, suggested from $1.80 per click, which is quite cheap, and YouTube from 13 cents per view. So we all know where we're going to start putting our TVCs. And YouTube, you can also put a banner ad for free on your own video. Not many people actually know that. So if you're producing video content and you're putting it on YouTube, why not put a banner ad on it that links back to your campaign or website or your corporate website? And as I said, Instagram is still semi-coming soon. So we need to come back to Facebook because, of course, we know that it's the top of the pile. And essentially, we know that, as we said before, there's plenty of smartphone users out there, and 44% of users are using mobile phones to access Facebook. So again, we come back to the psychographics and our personality and our persona profile in order to understand how it is that we're going to effectively reach our target audience using Facebook advertising. So I've sort of got I'll skip through most of these. These are, I guess, good for later, but they're kind of like the how to find, where to click to get into your ads manager to start your ad campaigns. And we click through, and what we want to do is we want to create an audience. So using that content that we've created in our persona profile, we create what's called a saved audience in Facebook. And the detail that we have on the audience is absolutely, amazing. We can target, demographics, of course, but we can get more into what their behaviours are like. So, for example, everybody here should be targeting an audience of frequent travellers, whether they're business travellers or for personal. And you can say, where are they going, for example. Now, we've got worldwide companies here, so absolutely, you can figure out where they're going for specific campaigns. And you should be essentially targeting them or increasing your reach for those campaigns to that audience using these different targeting methods. So also, not only getting people to go on these trips, for example, we should also be using this targeting to talk to our ideal client after they've returned. How was their trip? Was it great? Tell your friends. Get some reward for doing that. I think that's a great idea for a campaign. Obviously, specifics need to be invested a little bit more. But so if we just looked at, I just did this because we're standing in Australia, but you could do this for any country. There's a reach of 270,000 people living in Australia who have intentions of travelling within Australia from 18 to 65. And 230,000 that just returned from a trip 1 week ago, and 410,000 returned from a trip 2 weeks ago. So why not absolutely get your campaigns targeting all of those different audiences? So we've spoken about our capability to advertise on Facebook and the targeting and how niche it can be. Well, Twitter has much of the same. So users are accessing, 80% of users are accessing Twitter via mobile, and what are they doing? They're reading news stories, they're logging in to see what's happening without posting anything, tweeting a friend, look at trending topics, favoriting a tweet, visiting celebrities, and using hashtags. So hashtags are obviously quite popular, have become quite popular, and pretty much were born on Twitter. So it's important to understand the use of hashtags as well, and we'll get into that when we get to Instagram in just a minute. So as I mentioned, the ads launched on Twitter in 2014, and they're available in over 200 countries at the beginning of this month. So what do your ads look like when they're on Facebook? Well, sorry, on Twitter. Essentially, they look that you can embed an image, you can embed video, and yes, you can have a call to action button to get them to click through to your website. So actually setting up ads on Twitter. It's quite similar to Facebook, but I guess what we don't have is the ability in Australia to target behaviours. It's only specific to the USA and the UK. So therefore, when we're developing our persona profiles, what's really important is to understand our ideal client's key interests and what they might be using Twitter for. What are they searching for on Twitter? And that will absolutely help you run your ad campaigns on Twitter much more effectively, if you know that. So when we're uploading keywords that we might be typing in, then we have the capability to import them via this button here. So essentially, storing your key persona profile in easy to access text files is really important for your team. And while you can't do that on Facebook, at least they'll have some consistency when they've I guess created an audience on Facebook. They come across to Twitter, and then they can just start copying and pasting and uploading files into Twitter to create those audiences. You can target people based on the followers that they're, based on the other accounts that they're following. And for example, I just put a few local tourism-based, Twitter accounts up there that, that obviously there's going to be heaps of followers for. So as soon as you start putting in keywords and their interests and whatnot, you start to target that audience much further. So then we're looking at what their interests are, and one of those interests, you can base it on categories. For example, it could be travel, and there's a huge category there listed with lots of different countries in it. Now, that's what they give you. Essentially, they're probably all of the countries you're capable of targeting right now, but I'm sure that will grow. You can upload your own list of emails. So for example, if you're actually doing email marketing campaigns, you should be utilizing your EDM subscription list to import into a Twitter ad. Similarly on Facebook, you can do the same thing as well. A tactic that we sometimes use is also to access any of our LinkedIn profile followers and export that and pump that into a list as well. So as long as it's not everybody, all those people, trying to become your connection from India, you'll obviously have quite a few people in there that are essentially an ideal client as well. I'll get into that other tab a little bit later. TV ad. Sorry. What shows they're watching on TVs? That can be targeted towards United States viewers only at the moment. So if you know what TV shows that your persona profile will be watching, then essentially you can target that on Twitter as well, which is pretty awesome. Like I said, the behaviours are specific to United States only at the moment, but I'm sure they'll come here sometime soon. You can also exclude people from your audience. So maybe there's an entire list of email addresses that you definitely don't want to target in your advertising because you don't want to waste your spend on those people. By all means, do that. Similarly, you can target website visitors that you don't want, so they might have visited one of your websites potentially, and you don't want to target. Sorry, you don't want to. So, just for argument's sake, you might have a Fiji website, and you might have, a Indonesian website, and you don't want the Fiji ad to be shown to the Indonesian, website visitors, for example. So of course, Twitter also gives you access to be able to upload video without 30 seconds of, and so just like your TVCs. And I mean, that's pretty much the end of targeting for Twitter. So LinkedIn, again, has similar capabilities. So you can replicate this persona profile across, and the targeting across a lot of different social medias. So On LinkedIn though, it's more about their skills and where they work and what their title is, I guess, is probably the where you're defining those targeting parameters. And we find that really effective for service-based companies, for example, so even for ourselves. But at the same time, the cost is much greater than any of the other platforms, and sometimes, unless we're willing to put in quite a bit of coin into the actual ad budget, we're really not going to see the reach and the impressions that we want to get out of LinkedIn. So I think they have a lot to do there before marketers will really encourage people like yourself to get on that platform. And be honest, Facebook's still king of the pile there. So there I was just describing, some of the, just in location in Brisbane, industry medical practice, just for argument's sake, what their skills were and what the company size were. So I wanted to exclude companies that were, too large, maybe for the customer that we were defining this target audience for. Instagram. So as I mentioned, ads are coming, and of course, it's not just a picture-based platform, it's also video. Ads are here and almost ready to be utilised by everybody in Australia. So what we have is essentially they look very similar to most other, posts on Instagram, except what they have is they have a sponsored little tag up the top there, and then they have these call to action buttons, which if you can't read them, are things like, just a minute, catching up. Shop now, install now, sign up, and learn more. So if you had an app, then you would obviously, you could be advertising on Instagram and asking people to install now. So on Instagram, they have some details about how that advertising platform is going to work and who they're going to target. So marketers got really excited. They were like, we can target everybody now on Instagram. We don't have to just rely on hashtags." Except the users didn't like it too much, and the advertisers also basically found out that it wasn't available yet. So. Again, Instagram gives you some more detail, and how we're actually doing those launching those ads is we can launch them from Facebook. So obviously Facebook bought Instagram. So some of the ads that you're producing on Facebook, for example, you can replicate and produce on Instagram, potentially. We've tried doing it a couple of times for a few different clients, and it's still not available yet. So I've just put some slides up there on where you might go, and you'll use a Power Editor versus Ad Manager, and it's a little bit too complex at the moment. But essentially, you would be able to choose your placement type, which currently this is what it looks like for Facebook placement, and there'll be one extra one that will actually just say Instagram on there when you're trying to produce your ads. So yeah, like I said, there's a bit of kickback from users that are using Instagram because obviously ads are new, and they're coming up on people's feeds, and everybody I speak to about it is like, no, I hate those things. Why are they coming up? So I guess, nobody likes, advertisers encroaching on free territory, and it being new, there's going to be some pushback. So for now, let's look at Instagram tactics being centered around hashtags, of course. And if you look at Webster.me, you can see they've got a top 100 tags that are being used for this year, and a lot of them are about love. Obviously, love's number one, which I love. I find it funny that there's a lot of selfie ones in there, so plenty of people taking selfies. Is it that people love looking at pictures of themselves, or they want people to look at them? It's just social media is just narcissistic. That's basically what it is. You know, look at me, I'm having an amazing time, I'm happy. And I guess that will come up in a few minutes when I talk about some of the strategies that I think you should employ. So again, we get into psychographics, and I guess it's you just need to know what your ideal client is using Instagram for, if they're using it at all. And I just did some searches. So I use Instagram a lot for just finding out what's happening locally. Often I find social media is the first place for news to break. And a couple of years back there was a fire in Burleigh Heads. I live in Burleigh Heads, and I wanted to know what was happening. And so I was on Instagram searching for hashtag Burleigh Heads. Similarly, I was on Twitter doing the same. But I also like to see, you know, what my community's taking photos of. And I'm a bit of a foodie, so I want to see also what food's being eaten in my local town. Then I can, getting a bit keen on the click. Then I can actually, you know, there is actually map detail in Instagram as well. So, you know, I could be looking for hotels in Burleigh Heads, for example, and yeah, there should be map detail on that because somebody's essentially tagged that hotel if you're already on that Instagram account. So Instagram is really great for user-generated content. It's probably one of the easiest things to integrate into a website. And I didn't give you the top line of who this is, but it's Black Milk Clothing, and they're a Brisbane-based company that sell lots of tight clothing, essentially lots of lycra. And they use Instagram as social proof to basically tell you, the person who's purchasing, that, hey, other people have purchased this stuff and it looks great no matter what your size, shape, or colour. So how they do that is they just tell people to use a specific hashtag, and then obviously Black Milk has to moderate it somewhat, and that can easily be done just by a simple like, and then that content appears on the website. So it's a great way, I guess, to prove to your audience that people go here, they love it, for example, in the tourism industry.
We are taking still shots using mobile phones. That's it. And we're making a film.
Amazing, amazing.
I've never been a part of a project like this or seen anything like this, so I'm pretty excited to see what it comes out to.
People are coming from distances, hundreds, thousands of miles, just to be part of something that they've never seen before.
Thank you again, guys. Let's all get out to our station. Let's go.
All right, very good.
Oh, looks pretty good. I like it. We can't wait to edit it.
I'm about to do frame number 174. I'm kind of excited about this one.
Basically, I take the shot, edit it how I want, post it on Instagram, and they sequence it all together in the right order to make the film.
There's a couple shots in which we simulate a camera car to wrap around or dolly around a car. We have specific marks where they need to be and where the car is to simulate that move. We actually photographed the entire location and rendered it in 3D so that we could map out all of our shots.
So I chose frame 323, where I can get both the Lexus symbol and also the sleek lines of her.
The car looks amazing, and if I could have one, I would take it.
It's exquisite. Beautiful. Yeah, it looks like a masterpiece.
How'd it go? It's good. Now my mind is filling itself with the colors and the shades. I'm like, should I edit it? Should I? Anyways, I'm excited.
This is the second step after taking the picture. They're asking us to edit our image and that we're uploading it to Instagram using the hashtags.
I got a little bit of the car and I was just gonna give it a black and white kind of a feel.
I chose a nice low down to the ground kind of shot that gave me a good perspective. Does my hair look okay?
Yeah.
Once they've posted to Instagram, we're saving all the images locally and delivering those photos in real time for the editor.
It's pretty exciting to feel like you're part of something original, especially off of Instagram, because I pretty much live on that app.
Thank you all on behalf of Lexus for welcoming us into your community.
Today was an amazing day with so many talented people taking shots and really making them their own.
It's a really good representation of what Instagram is because it's a community that comes together.
I think Lexus goes, why don't we just jump like 9 steps forward? Really, really stretch everyone's imagination and do something that's completely different. 2, 3. Dead sexy.
So I think that's a really great example of how you can utilize Instagram specifically, not only Instagram, but social media to generate user-generated content for you. So I've explained that we all need to go out and create content, but why not actually get our customers to do that for us? It could potentially be the cheapest marketing you'll ever do. And you can see how passionate those people were in that film about Lexus, for example. So why not have them passionate about your brand, the hotel that they're staying in, the resort, the location, and request that maybe they enter a competition and generate some content for you. The hype that's created not just from that video, but also the flow-on effect that people are, I guess, sharing that video and telling people, hey, I was there, I was at an Insta-meet, it was amazing. You can see they were pumped. They'd be on a high for weeks, maybe months after that, and probably still telling people, hey, I was at an Insta-meet. Instagrammers, they love telling people that they were in an Insta-meet. So you could get a lot of value out of that content. So just to, do the home run, once we've got all that reach out there on social media, and we've got those people coming back to our website, what's really important is that we use remarketing campaigns to make sure we keep our customers in a loop, and that's where we really own them, okay? So a little cookie gets put on your machine or their machine, for example, and you've probably seen this. You're shopping on a watch website or something like that, and all of a sudden you're back on Facebook and boom, there's a picture of a watch. How did they know? Wow, phone readers. No, it's sometimes referred to as digital stalking. And sometimes, there's a bit of user kickback from that. So think about when you do your remarketing campaign, that maybe you put a little bit of delay on it. Don't just do it straight away, it freaks people out, okay? So Facebook, obviously, we can target people that visit checkouts, registrations, key page views. So you might have specific campaigns running on certain pages of your website. When they add to cart and other website conversions, so you can actually define the conversion. For example, maybe they just submitted an inquiry. Similarly on Twitter, you can do site visits, purchase, download, sign up, and a custom action. So it's a great way to, do those follow-ups after a transaction, after an inquiry, tell a friend, why not? Google AdWords and Google Analytics, when combined, you can also start your remarketing campaigns there. But I just want to leave you, as I hit the time perfectly, with a quote from John Chambers, retiring Cisco CEO. 40% of businesses in this room will not exist in a meaningful way in 10 years. 70% of companies will attempt to go digital, but only 30% of those that try it will be successful. So I guess it's really important to think about your marketing strategies, your digital marketing strategies now, more than ever. And whether you do something about it or not, let's see if you're still here in the next 10 years. Thanks very much.